Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like, subscribe to my channel. This is a what if series and I'll be doing more down the road, so stay tuned and thanks for watching. Hey guys, welcome back to What If Deku Had the Power of the Infinity Stones Part 7. So, now let's get into where I'm gonna lead this anime, like this what if going. So we're now in the UA Sports Festival, and with that, Esdef was doing some talking to her father, as she has the same amount of hatred as her father. I mean, no, the same amount of hatred towards her father as Todoroki, seeing as if her father is the reason why her mother is in the mental hospital, basically going insane. Well, his mother went insane due to the fact that she couldn't take being being in that house with Endeavor anymore. She couldn't take being there. She couldn't take the sight of him anymore. So she just went crazy and doused Todoroki with the hot water, giving him that scar on his face. So she blames her father for that. So she inhabits the same kind of hatred that Todoroki has. So these are two siblings with hatred towards their father. So in this particular part, it's gonna go way different from the original canon. So we start off with Deku in the lab with his mother. His mother is working on a new suit of armor due to the fact that she's the female Tony Stark of this universe. She's working on a new armor, and she hasn't quite got it yet, but she's almost close in getting all the elements right. She's now talking to Ellen Cho, and she's now thinking of creating a bot that has the ability to be everywhere, some sort of vision. So while Ellen Cho and Deku's mom were in there, like Inko, while both of them were in the lab studying, trying to find out ways to implement this project that they're doing, so that it doesn't take a turn for the worse, and we all know where that would lead to. She's trying to find out how to create a body of armor. But in Deku's mind, he's just thinking, could this go from bad to worse? So with that, we have all the students preparing for the UA Sports Festival, getting announced that it is going to take place after the events of the USJ part. So as Def was practicing, trying to get her techniques up to base, she learned a few new techniques with her ice. It's like creating like manipulation, all that kind of stuff. And even she enhanced to creating a similar sword to further her combat skills. So all Asdef was feeling was excitement. Excitement from all her friends and the people that were around her. It just fueled her power into increasing. And I'm going to hold like a poll, and I want you guys to pick the hero names. So I already got the hero name for Deku is Thanos. That's the next name he's gonna stick with. But for other people, I want you guys to choose like the hero names for Esdef, Bakugo, and Todoroki, Tenya Ida. I want you guys to show me your creative minds put together. I want to see what all the creativity you have with designing these kind of characters, these hero names and everything. And this is about fan fiction and all made up stories. So anyway, as Esdef was practicing, we cut over to Iizuka leaving his mother's lab and telling his mother that he has to go train and he's going to leave her to her projects, with Iizuka flying over to where All Might was in Muriel. All Might is somewhat happy to, well, not somewhat, he's happy to see Iizuka Midoriya, and Iizuka is even more happy to see that Muriel's there, being that Muriel has mastered One For All. Deku didn't see he didn't have any objections toward this because he knew that Muriel was a good successor for One For All and could master it without any without any efforts, due to the build that Muriel have. And knowing that Muriel has another quirk where he can just make his body go through walls and everything, knowing that One For All is also it's like an enhancer quirk, so it only makes Muriel's power even stronger than what it already was in the original canon. Deku then looks at All Might and he would ask All Might, so with my power, I know it's a lot of people out there that fears what I can do. And All Might goes to say, so yeah, your quirk is powerful, but there's another being out there that can take your quirk. And Deku looks at All Might and says, so you're talking about All for One? As if. I know All for One's power and what he can do. And before he would even think to take my quirk, it wouldn't even work out for him. Because I read minds, All Might. Did you forget about that? He said, yeah, I forgot you had that mind increase ability where you can read all minds, basically giving you a universal conscience. And Deku would say, that's correct. Anyway, enough talking about this weird skeleton wearing mask guy, whatever his name is. I'm more interested in Muriel's development. Seeing as if Deku ran over to Muriel right past All Might fast with stars in his eyes and say, Muriel, can you spar with me real quick? And Deku would only use his power increase. And you see this purplish aura going around Deku as he powers up and says, I'm gonna match you. Whatever percent you go to, I will go to that same amount percent. And Muriel says, so how about we go for 100? And Deku and Muriel, even though Deku has limitless power, he's gonna cap his power at 100% just to be on equal grounds with Muriel, because if he would increase it any further, he would hurt Muriel. No doubt, he would hurt Muriel. So as both of them are fighting, Deku sees a lot of improved technique between Muriel. Some of his movements that he can't hit, but it's like his hands are going through Muriel, and Deku sees this, but he instantly says, well, seeing as if one part of your body can move, the other part of your body must be vulnerable. As Muriel, when Deku went to kick and it went through Muriel's body, he instantly threw a right hook and hit Muriel dead in the jaw. And Muriel flew, skip rocking across the ground, but catching his balance and looking at Deku with a smile before their sparring match would continue on. But that all came to an end with Deku feeling very, very happy that Muriel has gotten as far as he did. So with that, Deku then goes back. Now we're into the parts where the USJ Sports Festival begins. I'm gonna skip a lot of other parts where they don't have a lot of conversations. It's seeming as if I'm changing a lot of elements in it. So you would see this. I bet you didn't expect this counter, but you would see that Esdeath would go to challenge Bakugo. She would go to challenge Bakugo all because Bakugo says this to her: "Hey, bitch, I feel like you're the one I want to fight. I want to see just how stronger you are. If you can hold a candle to Iizuka, well, Deku, I want to see how powerful you really are. I bet I can beat you and claim my spot, and I'll be just this close to beating Deku." And Esdeath would go to smile. She never lets down a challenge, but Esdeath would go to smile and look at Bakugo. Bakugo would tense up a little bit, seeing as she has this undeniable, intensifying energy around her that makes her makes her lust or crave for battle. And she would look Bakugo and say, "You want to fight me? I hope you're strong, because if you're a disappointment, then that would be a waste of time." And Bakugo would go to say, "Wait, just a waste of time?" Yeah, she said it like this: if we fight and I don't have to use my hands and I have to just resort to using my kicks, then it's a worthless battle, seeming as if I'm just blocking you. You realize how, sorry about that, I have to clear my throat. Anyway, but you realize how Vegito and Super Buu were fighting each other, going toe for toe and everything, but Vegito was just toying with Super Buu, basically not even touching him with his hands, mocking him, using only his legs. That's what Esdeath basically stated against Bakugo, saying that if I have to resort to using only my legs when I see that you're not even proven enough to be a challenge, then it's worthless. So, with Bakugo sees, he knows Esdeath's potential and everything, but he just wants to at least train or have some kind of potential, but he knows he'll never hold a candle to Deku. He knows he'll never hold a candle to Deku. He knows he never gets strong enough to be at that point. But he's not gonna stop training and getting his power to basically new heights. I know I said his power is nuclear, but I know as bland as that name is, I bet you guys can choose something else. So if you guys, like, as this series continues, if you guys choose something different between that, then I would be all for it, because the only thing I got for that is nuclear. Anyway, so so in this one, instead of Todoroki coming to Deku and declaring war on Deku, saying you're my target, he wouldn't go towards Deku. He would go more towards Bakugo, and this would be the rivalry that I'm gonna set up between these two. Since Bakugo and Todoroki, they have the potential of being similar rivals towards each other. Since Bakugo has nowhere near in the future of ever in his dreams catching up to the omni significance that Deku is, seeming as if Deku wanted, he could erase Bakugo out of existence if he wanted to, but Deku's not going to do that, because since Deku and Bakugo, they have a very tight and strong bond between each other, and Deku favors Bakugo and always tells Bakugo to get stronger and improve his skills. And Bakugo has taken advice from Deku, increasing his power, but he always thinks that where can his power be capped? Is it like, does he have a limit? Does he have a point to where he can reach and no longer succeed that point? Anyway, so okay, as the USJ Sports Festival is getting ready to start, you see Deku's looking at Esdef along with a bunch of other students, but Deku's basically mimicking the same thing as Esdef doing. She's going from karate to taekwondo to judo to a bunch of different fighting styles that she can implement that she's learned. And Deku goes to say, "Wow, you sure take this fighting thing pretty serious, don't you?" And she say, "Yes, why? Of course I do." And you're no different. I think you you can learn a matter of a fighting style and become a premium belt or an exclusive belt in just a matter of seconds while studying every aspect of the fighting style. Yeah, there's nothing I don't know and no combat techniques I don't know. I even know a damaging technique that can kill an opponent if I were to do it. So yes, I'm quite deadly. There's nothing I can't do. So with that, as Dev saying, Iizuka, you're so very powerful, but you would never know the thrill of being in a good fight, will you? And Deku just looks at her and says, "Well, that's one thing you're right about. I won't ever know the significance, the thrill of having a good fight. Probably because there's nobody out there that can beat me." Well, you would be wrong in that statement there. As to my mother, she has a suit made of, but Iizuka, there's only so much a suit of armor can do against a being of infinite ability. But she has a suit that, yes, I know your mother has created a suit out of your blood, but her suit is only limited to a lot of things that she can do. Say, for example, when she takes that suit off, she's vulnerable. So what will be your issue then? Well, I never thought of it like that. Guess I gotta just ask more questions to her and see if the suit is even strong enough to be combated against. So, as Death, she says, "You're an idiot. I wish you weren't this strong. I wish your power was just given to you in equal measures. I wish you went through stages where you gained the new power as you progressed in levels." And Deku says, "Wow, so that would be interesting. So you're saying if I actually progressed in levels?" "Well, there is one power I can't use." "What do you mean?" "Well, I do have some aspects I can use. I can reincarnate things, but I just can't bring souls back from the dead. I guess if I lost someone, then I could have that kind of ability, but I don't need it. As I am the I am basically God." Esdef would go to say, "Well, there's no argument there, seeming as if there's nothing you can do." So, without any more rambling about their conversation, the USJ Sports Festival began with the race. And you would see Deku and SDF doing some very extraordinary things in the race that you didn't see in an original counterpart. As Deku was walking, Todoroki and Bakugo were going neck to neck. Basically, Bakugo just leaping across the field, not caring about the explosion since it doesn't do anything to him and it doesn't have any recoil or pushback towards Bakugo because he's dealt with it. I mean, this man was taking his training so seriously that he even shot explosions at his own body and went to the recovery girl, healed, just to do it all over again. So he has some insane durability. So Todoroki and Bakugo were neck to neck, but Deku and SDF, along with a few others, all the students were trying their hardest, but Deku, he looked at the ground with the minefield. When they came up on the minefield, Deku just said, "Watch this." So I'm going to do something very interesting. Deku touched the ground and the ground started vibrating. The ground started vibrating, the dirt started to rise a little bit, and all the mines exploded. And Deku says, those things would be a nuisance. As you see the principal, and he says, you know how long? I don't technically know who put the mines in the field. Y'all can correct me in the comments, but this is what I'm going to say. You know how long it took me to plant those mines there? And the fact that that kid just destroyed them all with no effort. He's very interesting. I guess the future of the Hero Society is in good hands. The future of the Hero Society is indeed in good hands. This sounds very interesting. So as he destroyed the field, SDF and Deku made a bet to see which one of them will cross the line first. And SDF, empowered by the emotion of excitement, and Deku just used his power increase to increase his speed. And both of them shot off like lightning. They were moving fast and shot past Bakugo and Todoroki looked at them with sweat dripping down their face, along with Ochaku, Tenyuita, and a bunch of other students, Momo, Mineta, a bunch, and Tsukuyomi. A bunch of the other students looked dead at Deku with sweat dripping down their face, saying, "Jesus Christ, does these two ever hold back?" And Deku and SDF were just at it. They're going so fast. It looked like these two were neck and neck until Deku got the upper hand and SDF came in second place. And Deku was just bouncing around in his USJ sports festival outfit, just saying, "Yeah, see, I won." So with that, I guess you can take this. Deku basically made a face mocking SDF. And SDF will go to look at Deku and say, "Oh, you're only gonna get so far as to mocking me, Iizuka." And Deku will go to say, "Just relax, I'm playing with you, I'm not that serious. I won by a hair. You would have had me if you would have used the emotion of rage." And he said, "I don't need that emotion yet. While the world's full of lots of emotions, I fear I can explore each and every one I so-called choose." And Deku says, "Well, you got a point there. Jeez, a girl with an emotion quirk. Well, I guess we won this, and I guess I'm gonna be a target." And SDF says, "So why do you think that?" "Because I came in first place and I have the most points, and now a bunch of people are gonna come after me, but I seriously kind of doubt that, though," SDF said. And Iizuka will go to say, "Why?" "Well, it's a bunch of people that already know about your power, Iizuka. So if they were to target you, then that would spell out very disastrous for them. As you can see that a lot of people admire your power, but it's a lot of people that kind of fear what you can do. So I don't think it's a lot of students that are going to come targeting you." And Iizuka will go to say, "Well, yeah, you're right about that. I don't think it is a lot of students that are going to attack me. So this is not going to go out like we're saying the same way." So Deku would get his team. And his team would be similar to how it was in the anime with Tsukuyomi, Ochaku Uraraka, Deku, and Hatsumi. It'll be all them on the same team. Esdef would have her own team. Bakugo would have his own team, but Bakugo would have his still eager attitude, just like he was in the sports festival. How he was targeting Deku. This is the where the side of Bakugo that we all know comes out, and he starts targeting Iizuka. He doesn't even care, and this also would fuel like. Okay, I'm not saying that it would put out a lot of, like, say for example, fuel that would ignite the fire that, say for example, all these students that see Bakugo charging at Izuku Midoriya, they would get this sort of confidence saying, oh, so since Bakugo's doing it, we can do it too. Nah, that's not the case. That's not the case. So Bakugo is just the only one that known Izuku for that long to have the courage or confidence to fight or challenge Izuku Midoriya. Also, Esdef does too, so she's not holding her back against Izuku, so she challenges him too, with Todoroki following behind his lead, but Todoroki more has a rivalry towards Bakugo, so when Bakugo attention would be sort of altered with him and Todoroki going against each other and fighting it out. But the same events would happen, only for Izuku to come in first place, Esdef for second, Todoroki for third, and Bakugo for fourth. So if that's a bit boring to you, I am sorry, but that's all I got for that one. Because if you played it in similar elements, who would run up on Deku? Just think about that. This man has the power of the universe at his hands, at his fingertips. Snapping his fingers, you would vanish away like dust. Who would run up on that? I think like the majority of students, or Deku, he's not afraid to even state his powers and what he can do, and he's told him multiple times that there's nothing that he can't do. So I think a majority of the students wouldn't even think to approach Deku on the stage, so I think they would do their best to avoid him. While, say for example, okay, let's just say like a few students had the courage to run up on Deku, but Esdef, Bakugo, and all of them would give Deku some excitement, fun. Esdef would push Deku to an edge, like, because her power would push Deku to an edge. So Deku would have to keep an eye on her because she could be a little distraction because he had got one of his headbands. It wasn't that much. She didn't take the major one that she needed, but she took the one that had the, okay, so you know that one that Tsukuyomi had when he took the headband from them and that got Deku in for the last part of the USJ Sports Festival. That part right there. So she took that headband. Sorry for stuttering anyway. So now that the cavalry battle is over, we're going into the last part. And this is the fighting battle. This is one of my favorite parts. Even though I like the cavalry battle, I like what it implemented. I like the fact that at the last part of the USJ Sports Festival is when all of them, it's like the tournament in Dragon Ball Z. That's what it reminded me of. It just gave me so many flashbacks of the World Martial Arts Tournament as the students going against each other, going all out. No matter what, they just going all out. Like Deku was prepared to break his body just to fight off against Todoroki. So yeah, you're going to see some very interesting things about that part there when we get to the USJ Sports Festival Part 3. Like that part right there is going to be interesting because there's going to be a lot of people that I'm going to place against each other and a lot of people that I'm going to see for different battles and everything else. But anyway, without any further ado, this is all I got for this part right here. You guys have a good day, a good night, and you already know the deal. Plus Ultra. And I will be releasing something later on throughout the day about, like, I'm gonna make a post on my community, and depending on what you guys vote on, I will post the next video of this series after I post What If Deku and Todoroki Were Brothers. Yes, I'm starting a brand new series. Anyway, you guys have a good night.